Welcome back to inFAMARCH. Yeah, I'm still calling it that. Today we look at the fastest selling PSN game of all time, inFamous Festival of Blood. Once again set in New Marais, this is a little side story about Pyre Night, which is a fictional event that is probably based on something Cajun that I couldn't be bothered to research. So, get your popcorn ready, because we're about to fight some vampires. Actually, don't bother with the popcorn. The game will be done before that is. We start off with Zeke in a bar reading some comics. Because, you know,
I'm perfectly capable of buying my own.
Bertrand hates comics. In walks a very appropriately dressed woman, and Zeke tries to strike up a conversation with her. While at first she acts uninterested, the mention of being best friends with Cole suddenly piques her interest. He tells her, and I'm not making this up, the comic saved Cole's life. And now we flash back to Pyre Night, where Cole tries to save some people from the catacombs underneath the cathedral. But when he goes too deep into the tunnels, he's attacked by a vampire. Well, considering everything else in this series, it kind of fits. They use his blood to awaken Bloody Mary, the leader of this group of vampires. Cole tries to make chase by grinding the rails of this abandoned mine shaft, only for her to vanish. And I feel like this is more appropriate music. As Cole exits the catacombs, he is approached by a woman looking for help. So he eats her. Needless to say, there is no karma system in this game. After some running around that gets you familiar with the gameplay and the new powers, you arrive at a stage play which tells you the story of Pyre Night and Bloody Mary. Now you're tasked with finding the bloody cross that Father Ignatius used to kill Bloody Mary. You start by searching his grave, but the vampires already beat you to it, leaving you in a one-on-one fight with the Firstborn. This is considered the toughest enemies in the game, but none of them are really tough unless you get a whole swarm of them at once. After taking him down, you have to go chase after the first vampire that was carrying the barbed cross. Along the way, your X-ray vision that I never mentioned from the second game, you have to use to find a hidden Firstborn vampire. Which basically they take the toughest enemy in the game and make him die in one hit. I don't get it, so we'll move on. Now you head back to the catacombs to recover the box, which ends up being empty. And because the game really doesn't know how to transition well, you're forced into some UGC missions. Which I didn't bother to capture the footage of. But that's okay, because these things piss me off. Not the concept of UGC, because I like it. I've played a few that were actually pretty fun, even if they were very simple. But the game forces it down your throat. There are 8 missions in this game, and 3 of them are UGC missions. I don't understand why they couldn't just made it a real mission. It's not like there's much else in this game. You can blow through it in an hour and a half. But whatever. Now you go back into the catacombs because you gotta look for some hidden doors. I'd make an Ocarina of Time joke with the lens of truth and all that, but unlike using that thing, when you reveal a door, it stays revealed. You make your way into the room where you were first bitten, where you find a box containing
just a bunch of Mary's crap.
Yep. So after a bit of backstory on her, you're forced into a trap set up by the vampires. But the trap here isn't that it's an ambush. No, the trap is that it's a chase mission. My favorite. But at the end, you get the barbed cross, and now you go after Mary. And this starts another chase. She turns the entire town into her little pawns, but you just run up to her, whack her, and run past the pawns because as long as you don't stop, they can't hurt you. Now we have to, big shocker, go back to the catacombs, where we have to hold off hordes of enemies so that Zeke can set up explosives. It seems intimidating, but if you just consistently zap the water, they'll never touch you. But I'm very easily distracted. Whoops. Anyways, Mary occasionally pops in, and you whack her, and she goes away, and you repeat this for a little while. But, oh no, the sun's rising, which means Cole has been turned forever. Except that would be inconvenient to the plot, so he actually still has a couple more minutes. Just enough time to get up the stairs and for Zeke to blow the hell out of the place. And now we go back to the bar, where it seems like this ridiculous story actually seems to be working out for Zeke. Alright, he's gonna get some action. Cole walks in and cockblocks him.
Listen,
Yeah, Cole dropped his amp in a pool. And she decides to go with him to get it.
Thanks for the story, Zeke.
But not before revealing her fangs to Zeke and making him scream.
oh shit!
And that's it. No, seriously, that's it. The game's over. No side missions, a couple collectibles, but I'm not gonna bother with that. The only thing really left to do is sit back, watch the credits, and figure out what that girl's name was. It's Kat. If you didn't watch the credits or look it up on Wikipedia, you would have known, but it's Kat. There's not much to be said about this one. It obviously runs on the inFamous 2 engine because it was supposed to be a DLC that they just made a standalone title. The new powers seem a little weird to me, but I can't imagine they'd be as polished considering it is just DLC, it's not a full-blown game. The story is goofy, but it starts off with Zeke reading comics in a bar. What the hell were you expecting? My only concern is I have no idea when this is supposed to happen. Is it before we kill Bertrand? Is it in that little bit of time before Cole sacrifices himself? Is it as soon as they first get to New Marais? I mean, Bertrand's nowhere to be found, no Quo, no Nix. I think I'm reading too much into this. As it is, the game cost me $5. I don't know what it cost when it first came out, but it's $5 right now. I've seen it go cheaper with PlayStation Plus, so it's worth a shot. You know, it's worth picking up. I mean, yeah, the game's only 2 hours long, but it wasn't $30. Kojima. So now, we look forward to the finale of inFAMARCH, which might not be uploaded until June, inFamous Second Son. I promise I'll try and get it up before May's over.